both, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Compass agents Nicole and Michael Wilhelm of the San Francisco Bay Area, and also Lana and Franklin Park from Nashville. Today, we're going to learn strategies used to build a thriving client base, the mindset, the habits that drive high-earning real estate careers, and insights into Compass's agent experience. So with that, it's my pleasure. Feel free to come off camera to our panelists here, but it's my pleasure to introduce you to the Wilhelms and the Parks. So first, we'll introduce Michael and Nicole Wilhelm, co-authors of Mental Real Estate, who are a successful duo with nearly 20 years together and a decade in business. They co-founded the network group at Compass, achieved $3.5 billion in sales, and ranking as the number 13 mega team nationwide by Real Trends in 2022. And with them, we have over $1 billion in lifetime sales and a deep understanding of design and renovations. The Park team offers a comprehensive approach to buying, selling, and transforming dream homes. So welcome to today's webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before this, there was a lot of chatter, a good lively bunch. So for our audience, you guys are in for a real treat. And as we're going to kick things off, I may direct a question over to the audience as well. If you're comfortable, please respond, drop in where you are based so we can get a general feel for where our audience sits today. And with that, we'll go ahead and jump right into our programmed webinar. So for the first question, I'd like to direct this over to Nicole and Michael. Would love to learn from you if you could please share some key habits and mindset shifts that have contributed to your success.
Such a great question. I would say the top 4 would be waking up early. So if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, but especially if you have kids, you know the importance of waking up early so that you can get up before they get up. I would then say hydrating, right? And it's really important to get the water in when you're a real estate agent. Exactly, Franklin, you know what I mean? They wrote songs about it. It's trending on TikTok. And then I would say it's a cross between meditation and positive self-talk. Because there's so many things that are happening in this world today, you need to be your biggest cheerleader. And then Mike's going to go over what we think is the most imperative habit to have, which is number 4.
Yeah, so one of our favorite mentors and quotes is standing guard at the gates of your mind. Mindset for us is everything. At times, how many of you on this call actually? I think a quick poll. How many of you on this call have ever had somebody walk into their home, rearrange the furniture, leave all their baggage and their crap there, and then say, you know what, I feel so much better, and walk away? A few of us that might have happened to. Well, that happens with our mind. When we let clients into our mind and just drop their emotional and their stress and their things on us, if they take up too much space in our mind, it affects us negatively. And so what we do, and what's helped us throughout our years, is just stand guard at the gates of our mind and be selective on who we let in. A funny story, I was unpacking a tragic event that happened with a client once, and I was really stressed out, and I was unpacking with Nicole, and I said, you know what, I don't want to take up too much space in your mind. And she says, you know what, don't worry about it, I want you to unpack, because I'm putting this in the compost bin, in the recycling bin, and in the garbage bin, so go ahead and unpack, do what you need to do. So just be mindful of the people and the things that you let into your mind.
Such great suggestions here. Thank you. Perfect people to answer that question. The next question I'd like to send over to Lana and Franklin. So for you all, what are some daily practices or routines that have been instrumental in your professional development?
Thank you for the question. Before we answer that, I just want to say, after hearing the Wilhelms give their answer, I'm willing to fly them out to Nashville today so they can come stay with us for a little bit. I love what you just said. That really did give me goosebumps. I think that was a very, very, very accurate and wholesome response, because we do take on a lot from our clients and from each other. We're another married couple in the business, and it has its amazing times, and it has its times that we want to
kill each other.
Yes, there's that. It's I like to say it takes a lot of pressure to make a diamond, and that couldn't be more true in the real estate business. So I wanted to start by saying that.
Okay, back to the question.
Back to the question.
You're shining bright like a diamond right now.
That lighting in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yes, so for Franklin and Lana, some of the daily practices, routines, what has contributed to help create the consistency and success that you all have had?
For us, similarly to the Wilhelms, we have young kids, so we wake up at 5:45 every morning. That gives us, up until 9 o'clock to be able to work pretty uninterrupted. And that is when we get the most out of our day is in the morning. Because after 12 o'clock, after lunchtime, my brain does not function nearly the same. I think
Yeah.
for me, it's also a lot of time blocking. We have several clients, we have a large team, everyone wants to talk to us, all usually at the same time. So having a calendar that really works has been very instrumental in getting me organized and getting our team on the same page as well.
Yeah, and I also think it has, I think the Wilhelms comment on this a little, it's mindset. And sometimes there have been moments where I've woken up and it's just not there. And I don't know if it was a bad night's sleep or there's too much going on, there's too much stress, or, in our industry, disappointing somebody is one of the ultimate sins. And we're here to serve. We are in the business to serve people and make sure that they get what they want and what they need. It's also our job to tell them no and to make sure they don't make a mistake. And I think becoming the mindset of becoming the advisor as opposed to being that used car salesman, which we all know about, right? We know that person, they're in our office, they meet us at the grocery store sometimes. And you just have to be able to say, no, I can do better, which is hard. Doing the right thing is typically the harder thing to do. And I think the mindset of like being married and working together, she makes me a better person and I make her a better person. She don't always want to hear it, but that's okay. Sometimes I don't want to hear it either. But that's how you have a best friend and a partner. And I think practicing that whole thing, including what the Wilhelms have said, I think all of that in a bag of chips, really. I mean, we could go on, but I think that's really the apex of it right there.
Yeah, having boundaries between
yeah,
us, between other agents on our team and between our clients is really crucial and critical for our mindset.
We used to have no boundaries.
Yeah,
None.
we used to get phone calls at
I used-
9-10 o'clock on a Saturday being like, I need you to do this, this, and this.
I used to have a
And
full head of hair.
he did not.
I did.
He did not. I mean, he did not have a full set of hair.
It's a very stressful business and we get paid very well and people trust us. And I think that is the motivation for us to be repetitive on a daily basis with things that work and make us healthy.
Awesome perspectives, both of you all. And I'm curious as well, for our panelists today, we have two really, really successful teams that are with us. And I'm curious for those in the chat, if you could drop in, and I am so intrigued with what's going on back there, but no, for the panelists or for the chat, if you guys could please just chime in. Are you an individual agent? Are you on a team? Do you run a team? Would love to understand more of the landscape of our audience on this call, and something that you were just speaking to, Franklin, that I'd love to segue into next and maybe pivot this question back to Nicole and Michael. I think both of you had recognized just at the end here of, yes, I used to have no boundaries. I used to do this. I saw a lot of head nods, right? So for the agents on this call that are listening in that are newer, maybe a couple years into real estate in their careers, could you share just a little bit about how to leverage your individual unique strengths and expertise to achieve success in the real estate industry? What would be your perspective for agents today, newer in their careers?
These are great questions. I would say, think about it as we're all superheroes, right? But the misconception with that is when you are a superhero, and we'll give you an example of Superman or Superwoman. They come out as Clark Kent, and everyone's like, oh, that's great, you're Clark Kent, that's awesome. And then you think that they become Superman. What if I told you it was reverse? And you're actually Superman or Superwoman all the time, but you play small because you think it makes people feel more comfortable so that you can fit in. Now, if you were to play full out and you knew what your unique gift was all the time, imagine how successful your business would be if you're not doing it already. There's a
Mhm.
book entitled 10x is easier than 2x, and it talks about that and being in your unique gift all of the time and using the other percentage of the time to give it to people who are better at that, right? Which is a nice segue to, but what is your unique gift? So take some time, right? I like to play some music. Mike will joke and say it's like smooth jazz, whatever it is for you, right? And write out what you're good at, where nobody had to pay you for, that you could just do it, even if you think it doesn't relate to real estate, because chances are it does, right? And if you were just to do that the majority of the time, then you'd be surprised on how many referrals you'd get, how more authentic you become. Because a lot of times I think that agents try to copy each other. It's like, oh, that's working, so I'm gonna be like them. I'm gonna just, what their unique gift is, I'm gonna do what that is. But when you're authentic self, you attract more like-minded individuals and you'll get the type of business that you want. I joke and say we're all people pleasers, right? But you need to find the right people to please so that they will give you reciprocity. The only reason why it sucks to be a people pleaser is because you don't get that same type of love back.
Yeah.
So well said.
Be you,
Michael,
everybody
anything
else.
else?
Yeah, I was just say be you because everybody else is taken. Just be you.
Love it. Solid. Well, let's go to the, the other end of the spectrum as well too, and back over to Lana and Franklin. So in speaking with another tenured successful broker just last week, something they shared with me was we used to have so much confidence doing our jobs in recent years, and now we're looking at each other going, is it gonna sell? And just sort of a different perspective there. But I'm curious from your angle, what strategies have you found most effective in building, maintaining a strong client base in today's competitive real estate market?
I'm still thinking about
We-
what Nicole said earlier. I
Let's
love
stop.
what she said about that. We need to talk after this. We have a lot in common, that's for sure.
I would say, we don't pay for leads. We never, I think we tried it for a hot minute through Zillow. It was a nightmare. We spent a lot of money. It was not the clients that we wanted
Yeah,
or
it was
needed
an
at the
idea I
time.
was very against.
And so we become best friends with all of our clients. Like our clients become really good friends after we close the deal. And we provide them with everything that they need. Their dentists, their dermatologists, their endocrinologists. I mean, their wedding dress shop that they're going to go buy a wedding dress in. So we are a complete full service team that it doesn't end when the transaction is completed. Our life, with our clients becoming friends starts right after the deal is over, and we can be just friends now. And even we have text message chains and they're named like we're friends now. We're friends now, Nashville, and their
does.
address. Like
It
now
does.
we're
It
friends.
used to be like the home
promise.
address and then it says, now we're friends.
Now we're friends.
And,
Yeah.
oh God.
And it really is, a partnership. Like buying a house is one of the most stressful things to do, most emotional, most financially crazy thing to do, other than, getting married and having kids.
Well, yeah,
So that like trilogy, being with someone when they get married is really special, when they buy a house is really special, and when they have their first child. And people don't forget. I know that the statistics as far as using the same agent again is terrible. I don't know if you know the exact stats, but I thought it was
very
like
low.
people are only 8 to 12% likely to use their same agent for the second transaction. And so that is not the case with us because we're always in their lives. We go to kids' soccer games. We help them with their parents. Like we have another family that they're dropping off their dog here in 2 hours because
Yes.
they don't have another house to take the dog to.
Yeah, we're like
So
doggy daycare.
It's
over here.
really 100% relationship based.
Well, relationship based first and foremost. And there's a story of how we were being interviewed on a virtual call just like this from a new buyer, very wealthy individual. And he gets on the call and he said, first off, just want you to know, don't like realtors. You're like my 9th interview today. I've got 10 more. I'm looking for the right person. This is an interview. So I was feeling pretty spicy that morning. So I was like, sir, I'm glad you said that. Just want you to know this is also an interview. I'll be interviewing you just as much as you're interviewing me. And he goes, why would you do that? And I said, because I don't work with
Assholes.
I said that word right there. And I promised I'd be good. And
Yeah.
she went ahead and went for it. So yeah, I don't work with assholes. I just don't. And he He leaned over and says, Barbara, get in here. So Barbara comes over. She's like, is this who we're working with? I heard the conversation. She's like, yeah, those are our agents. So they were looking for someone that's not a pushover. Relationships are everything. And like Nicole said, being your true self is the most important thing. You can look at how Michael Jordan shoots and how he plays. You can emulate it. You will never be Michael Jordan. There's only one Lana Parr. There's only one Franklin. And that's just the way it is. We are unapologetically our true selves. Being that is one thing. Executing it and staying with it is another, because people drink that haterade. Every day they look at you and they say, why wasn't it me? Why wasn't it me? So no one will ever be happy for you except for the people that truly love you. And knowing that when you hear negative tones, you have to remember your mission. You have to remember what you stand for, and it's relationships, and it's doing the right thing, and it's waking up every day and trying to make this world a better place. I want my kids to one day say, Mom and Dad were rock stars. They were great parents, and they were great agents, and they were great in their community. And gosh, if I can get one of those, I'll be super happy, right? So I think keeping that client retention and keeping those clients, it comes with expectations and being able to set those expectations. So, you know, at the end of a deal, if you want to spend your time with them when the deal closes. Of course, you know, sometimes it doesn't, but that's important because we don't have that much time on this planet. We're all going to die one day. Who do you want to spend your time with? And for me to step away from my family to go show someone a home, whether it be $100,000 home or a $10 million home, they both get treated the same way. And they all know that I'm taking time away from my family to go do something that I'm really good at.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Clearly, there's so much passion on the line here with what you guys do, and it's integrated. I mean, from both of these teams, both of these couples, it does not seem that you approach this as a job. Yes, you run sophisticated businesses, but you are genuinely passionate and ingrained in your communities and what you're doing. For the Wilhelms, you know, would love to just have the same question bounce back to you as well. If there are any specific strategies that you've really found to be most effective in the current competitive real estate market for building and maintaining that strong agent base or client base, excuse me.
I just want to say, Franklin, that was like, I don't know if you got channeled by God, Allah, the baby Jesus, like the universe. But I was like, okay, that was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, just to piggyback on that, I mean, we're in a relationship business, and this, you know, you have an opportunity to build relationships and like make friendships, like just connect with people. You know, you're not out there, hammering nails or, you know, manual labor, and I know these things need to get done, but you have an opportunity to just make friends, and that's what this whole business is about, is just building relationships. And the better that you get at that, the more relationships that you build, the deeper that you go with people. You know, there's this term that says, don't go mile wide and inch deep, go inch wide, mile deep with people. And it's because the deeper that you go with people, the more that you'll be able to help them, the more they'll lean on you as their real estate advisor. And the labor that you put in will definitely, you'll see the fruits of that blossom from, you know, transaction after transaction, and just, you know, connection after connection. So it's definitely, we're in a relationship-based business, and just remember that.
Yeah, and I think it really comes down to people have to like and trust you, right? And you might be those first people that they tell, they might say like, I'm pregnant. I haven't told my family or my friends yet, but I need a bigger place. Or they might say like, hey, I'm getting a divorce. Or they may not want to share how much their net worth is, right? And so they trust you as a friend first before anything, with a secret that they may not be able to tell anyone else. So I would say, if you are in it for the transactions or for the money, erase that, right? Think about it as how many connections and relationships you can be of service to, right? That's why it's so important to pick who you're going to work with, because it can be a type of business or industry where it can be very one-sided and you feel drained at the end because you're giving and giving and giving, right? Because you're such a go-giver, and then you look around and you're like, oh, I'm empty. So it's very important to start picking those clients that are a reflection of you and you're a reflection of them, and so that you can continue to grow with them. And they will also refer you the same types of clients and people. Right now, our business is about 90% referral base, and it's generally from other agents. And we don't take every referral because not everyone is for us. And we know that if we took that one referral, it would lead to more people like that, right? And there's somebody that's for them that would be great for them, but we know where we stand. And so I think if you come at it from that perspective, that you so happen to sell houses, but you are in a relationship business first, then your business can't help but do well.
If you guys are, if you're picking this up, we'll put it down, because I feel like we're dropping some gems. Put a thumbs up emoji in the comment, because I just want to make sure you all are paying attention. So there's a couple thumbs ups. Okay.
I saw one agent here chime in that this human, I think Nicole, you were speaking at the time, should be president. So you're now being nominated for president.
It definitely wasn't me, I'll tell you that.
I'll be the
Said
first
something about-
man. I'll be the first man.
You would be first man if she was the
I would be
president.
the first lady. I'd be the first man.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? The first man.
Clark and Nicole said something that like really got me, and we talk about this all the time. If you're an agent only doing it for the money, you
Mhm.
smell.
Mhm.
They will see you coming a mile away, and you will attract all the wrong people.
When I guess when we started selling a lot of real estate 5 years ago, and it wasn't just like 10, 20 houses here and there, everyone would ask, like, what are your sales? What's your
I
GCI?
had no idea.
I have no idea, but I can tell you that we work with 86 families. And those range from $10 million sales to $150,000 sales.
We know now what those
And
numbers are, but
I
we
know
didn't.
now, but we really,
Sure.
just at the end of the year.
Yeah, we never really cared
If
about it.
you have a goal to like, I want to sell 100 million this year, I want to sell 200 million, or even
You've already
want to
lost.
sell 10 million, then you might not do what's right for your
Yeah.
client to reach that goal. And I never want it to be just, money for me, but also screw over one of our clients.
Yeah,
So we are really like, we want to help people, but we also say no to so many
Yeah.
clients. We have clients that bought great homes with us years ago and they want us to sell and buy a new house. And we tell them, let's keep it as a rental. We can get you guys $6,000 a month for this house. Your mortgage is $1,500. You can cash flow so much money. You don't need to sell this to buy your next home. So we've talked ourselves out of millions of dollars in sales by doing the right thing. And
I love what Nicole said. That was so perfect.
we're like
That
the
was so-
same
we're like the
people
same
on
people.
different coasts.
We might be related.
They're much handsomer than we are.
I love all these best practices and just authentic answers coming through. Thank you both. And something, Nicole, that you were speaking on as well too, of these are the moments, like your clients may tell you before anyone else that they're having these big life moments, and something our CEO Robert Refkin has spoken to many times, and Netta as well, our president, is this idea around the 5 Ds. So diapers, diplomas, diamonds, divorce, death, right? These are 5 incredible motivators for someone to want to move, right? To work with a realtor. And so those life events are just so important to be able to be shared, to be celebrated, to be supportive of with your clients. So those are the themes that we're clearly seeing in Lifetime with both of your teams here today. I want to direct over to the chat really quick. So we have both an open chat where everyone can see the responses there, and also a place where our attendees can submit questions. Want to encourage you guys to continue to pile in questions here, because while I have a series of questions, I'd also love to be able to pluck from the audience, because we want you to get the most out of this. So feel free to drop in questions publicly or privately, and towards the end, we'll go through several of those together. But thank you again for everyone's participation so far. So I'm gonna move into a little bit with both of these teams being at Compass. And one of our entrepreneurship principles here, we have 8, but one of them is learn from reality. And so I'd love to have both of you guys chime in on this one. Maybe Wilhelms, we'll start with you on this, and then we'll come to the Parks. But if you could please share an example of a challenging situation in your real estate career, how you overcame it to achieve significant business growth. Let's go back to our LFRs, our learn from realities, if you could share that with the audience here today.
Yeah, this one, kind of hits home with me. When we first got into real estate, Nicole, took the leap first, and I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I was a professional poker player, kind of grinding away at the tables. And, we had one of those life events happen. Unfortunately, my father committed suicide. And, it was a harsh reality that I had to overcome. When Nicole had her first deal in escrow, and we closed that deal, my father didn't have life insurance. And so we needed the money, and Nicole said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of, the funeral arrangements and funeral services. My mom was relieved. And so it was a reality that we all had to kind of, process. And I realized, I said, you know what, this is the time for me to go all in with Nicole and start this real estate business. And we went from, struggling agents at the beginning to taking that energy and that pain and growing our business to 7 figures. And so, that principle, we all have things that happen in our life, and it can derail your career, or you can use that pain or that energy and transmute it into something beautiful. And so, I encourage people to, if you have anything that's happening to you in your past, to look at it as a blessing, because it made you to the person that you are today.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Lana and Franklin would love, I know that's hard to come after as well, but just so vulnerable and so gracious of you to share that with us, and incredible of where you all are today and the way you've been able to bounce back and channel that energy. Lana and Franklin would love that, similar, building off of what was just shared by Michael, but for you guys, of a challenging situation that you experienced, how you overcame that as well.
Yes, we've got a couple. I got a master's degree at the University of Life, but I'm still pursuing that on a daily basis, always trying to get better. Vulnerability is a true sign of strength. And goosebumps. The Wilhelms are fantastically strong people, and we're honored to be on this call with them. The first thing that comes to mind with me in terms of learning from reality was
5 years ago,
yeah,
when we just joined Compass.
I had the biggest client I've ever had in town, and he needed to show a home, and he could only see it during this one window. And it was the same time during my son's first lacrosse game. And lacrosse has taken me around the world. I used to play professionally. I played internationally. It was a big part of my life. And if my kids choose to do it, great. If not, that's fine too. But that was a big day for me. I didn't sleep the night before, and I missed it. And I am still recovering from that moment. It was hard. However, so wait, hang on. No, I have a good point to make. So, without the support of my wife and my business partner at that time, I don't know if I would have ever gotten over that, because I never forgave myself. And I think forgiving yourself is a big thing. And I think if you can learn from your mistakes and have humility and be humble, but be hungry at the same time. There's nothing wrong with being aggressive, but when you rush, you make big mistakes. And I rushed into a decision that I, to this day, regret, and it sticks with me all the time. So
It
time,
does.
yeah.
And it also helps us pick
Yes.
our clients and who we do want to work with. And really joining Compass has been a game changer and life changer for us because of the collaborations. And also we were able to start our team. So I don't physically have to be there to show a client a house. I have 3 amazing agents right now that are showing 3 different clients houses, so we can be on this call right now. So we don't have to miss a basketball game or a lacrosse game or anything, or miss time with our parents who are,
And our clients are all about it
our
too.
clients, we choose
They get
clients
it.
that family is
They
first,
Totally get it.
and we work our butts off.
Yes, so you can say, you said it earlier.
We work really hard for them, when we are available, but they know that if our family will always come first. No commission, no client will ever, equal how important our family is, how important our team is. And
I hope
that
everyone on this
dynamic.
call can get to a point in their career and in their life when they're able to fire someone that they're working for, someone that's going to make sure they have food on the table that week.
Yeah.
Don't depend on those people. That's up to you. If someone's making your life hard, the greatest thing you will ever do is say, this probably isn't the best,
Okay.
this isn't the best match, and I wish you greener pastures elsewhere, but I'm not your person. That is bar none one of the hardest things to do in a full commission business.
Yes, especially when it's a hard market.
But being at Compass, you know, they obsess about opportunity. There's the whole list, right? We can go through it, but having that culture, you can't, like I said before, you can't be a better basketball player unless you play with people that are better than you. We're in an environment of all-stars. Everyone who joins Compass minimally has to sell a certain amount per year. Not only that, they have to run through the gamut of the interview process before they can even get into a company. We don't hire people with pulses. And that was a big thing for me. Culture is everything. The first conference we went to, and then, you know, I had the Wilhelms here in Nashville. That's family. That's a reunion. That's a retreat. That's not business. That's fun. And that is another thing that I think saved us was joining a company that gave us a bigger boat full of very, very highly trained people.
Somebody on the chat just asked if our team members miss their families' games, and
Nope.
they don't. I mean, I've picked up a lot. I have a team member on the call right now
Amazing.
that I pick up for kids from school if I
Yep.
needed to. I would, you know, drive to Kentucky to pick her up.
We
And
have
we're there for them.
I have been,
We are family, like
yes.
family first.
Yeah,
and
I have
that's
been in
how
the
we
pickup
operate.
line many a times for my agents, whether it's their kids or picking their dog up, picking Wrangler up from their house to take him for a walk because she was going to show homes. It's
And
it's
they
a
drop their
team
kids
sport.
off at my house
Yeah.
when they need to go do a open house.
This isn't just doggy
It's not-
daycare. This is like child daycare too. Like we're running an operation here.
We are, and we would never want any of our agents to suffer like the way that we did when we were just getting started. And that's why you join a team. It's to not do it alone. You can't do it alone. You can't sell $100 million alone.
You can.
You can, but it's really.
You're gonna die early. You
I
could.
know, I was gonna say, you're gonna do it alone because you'll lose
Yeah, you're
everything.
alone.
You'll lose everything. Yeah.
Franklin, you made a really good point, and I saw in the chat, it said, you know, for a new agent, you know, what advice would you give somebody? And to your point, you know, taking back your power. That is something that, you know, we learned the hard way, and a lot of agents learn the hard way is, you know, giving their power away to their clients because they feel that they need the experience or they need the to close the deal. And I get it, like we were all there, but you lose a part of yourself when you have to give up your power like that. So, you know, hold on to your power, or if you feel like the client is just disrespecting you or they're just taking advantage of you, take your power back and fire that client.
Yeah, I would say Leonard Steinberg at Compass talks about time being the last luxury. I would also say you should add saying no is also a luxury.
Make know your vitamin.
Ooh.
The more you say no, the more you say no, like, the better it is, better opportunities come your way
She
to say
takes her
yes.
vitamins every day. All of them. Because he said no should be your vitamin. I was like,
Oh, I'm
Michael one-liners.
a yes person. I'm such a yes person.
Yeah,
And
we are
I
yes
started to
people.
say, no, you can't be everywhere. I can't be on every board that wants me to host an event. I can't do it all. So choosing what you're passionate about, what your skill set is, and then letting someone else do the rest.
One last thing really quick. I think it sucks to be alone, and it everyone takes the stairs. So whether you choose to join a team or however you choose to do this business, just know that there's no elevator, there's no skipping steps. If you put in the work, you want that six pack, go, you know, get your calories right, go to the gym, get on a routine, you'll get one. It's math, right? If you want to be a successful real estate broker, I really and truly believe that you need to have your morals in check and find out who you are and love yourself first before you start working for other people. Because if you don't, you might make a lot of money, you might do a lot of sales, but you'll be such a toxic individual at some point. Like when you do pass away, no one's coming to your funeral. And I hate to be like that morbid about it, but that there's a really interesting theory of how many people come to your funeral depends on how big of an impact you made in the world. And because we're real estate brokers on the residential side, we're on the emotional side. If we were not the people we are, the Wilhelms are not the people they are, we'd be doing commercial real estate. It's a bunch of money. It's black and white. It either works or it doesn't. That's it.
It's all financial.
On our side, but honey, I really need it. where are we financing? Can the Pars sell this home so we can buy this other home? We are ingrained in their family on a day-to-day basis. So yeah.
And also, once we close on the house, they still want to text us.
I know.
They're like, Lana,
Where'd you
we
go?
just had dinner with a family
talk
that
every day.
we sold the house like 4 months ago. They said that they're sad that they don't get my text every morning at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Like, why did you stop texting me? I was like, I'm texting somebody else now.
I know the
Like,
Wilhelms experienced that. Like,
No,
no,
it's so
I know.
important.
and that's hard to keep all the relationships.
It's so important because we go through this emotional roller coaster with people, and you know what, to your point, Lana, earlier you said, you know, the statistic is 80% of clients would use the same realtor, but less than 20% of them do. And it's because we go through this emotional roller coaster, and then after that, agents to kind of fall off. But if you stay in touch with them, you stay connected to them, you know, they'll continue to use you, you know, time after time again.
When both you were talking, I was thinking about dating. Like, if you didn't put real estate in there, it sounds like we're giving dating advice. And it is, if you really
It
think
is.
about it, right? Like, why
It
didn't
is.
you ask me after we had so many great dates and I thought you're gonna be the one? So if you stay in people's lives and you treat it as if it was a relationship and you're the marrying type, your clients will stay and then will continue to refer you business.
I love all of this, you guys. This just feels good, feels right. And so
Oh, yeah, or a doula. Somebody said it's like a doula. Yes, yes.
sounds like a doula. So many important relationships this could translate to. So look, both of your teams would be successful regardless of what brokerage you're affiliated with. Like, clearly you have mastered and owned the relationship component and being there for the people that are your friends and clients, right? But I'm curious, there was a question posed in the chat. Why Compass? What was it that allows you to expand on and elevate all the great things that you are doing as a team by being a part of Compass? So let's take this question first over to the Wilhelms.
For us, you know, one of my favorite movies, and maybe I'll reenact this scene real quick. It says, you know, you take the blue pill and you wake up, you go back into your reality, and you can believe whatever it is you want. Or you take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland, and we can actually show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. You know, what movie was that from? Somebody write it in the chat.
Matrix.
Exactly. So anybody who's ever you know, Compass acquired a lot of brokerages throughout the country, but there's a lot of agents that made the leap and they took the red pill and actually got to see the culture within Compass, the community, the referrals that we have, that people have, the technology. There's so many benefits to joining this brokerage. We've been to Sotheby's, we've been to a lot of different brokerages, and when we made that leap and came here, it was scary at first. When we came here, we're so glad that we did, and we've been here for what, 8 years now, almost, and I couldn't imagine being any other brokerage. And you know, in 2 years, we went to 3 or 4 different brokerages, and we made it here. We've just been here for the last 8. So it's one of those places that has just been a blessing. There's just so many good people like Pars. Like it's a really, really good place to be.
Yeah, and I would say, of course, the tools are great, you know, of course, the people are great, all these things are great. But what I found to be the most important is when we had an opportunity to talk to Robert, his belief in us was so strong, right? That I was like, oh, whoa, you kind of believe in me more than I believe in myself right now. And we wrote a chapter in the book Mental Real Estate about it. It's renting someone else's belief in yourself until you have the keys of ownership to your own self-confidence, right? Like, we needed him to believe in us so that we could go to the heights that we've been, but we didn't see that for ourselves at first. I remember we were talking to him, we were like, oh yeah, we're happy at Sotheby's, we're in the top 10%. And he's like, okay, but how would it be to be in the top 1% in the country? And you're like, okay, challenge accepted. And then because he believed in us, we did. And I would say that is the most important thing, is that belief that someone has in you.
So powerful. Thank you for both of your perspectives on that from Nicole and Michael. Let's shift over to Lana and Franklin. What inspired your move to Compass?
I was really hoping Michael was going to say Top Gun because that's my favorite movie. The Matrix is a close second. Gosh, this question is deep, and I think I'll let Lana answer on her own. But for me, it's being on the teams that I've been on growing up in my life, whether in athletics or business. One bad apple can ruin the bunch. It's heart over talent. A coach in college said, "Heart beats talent any day of the week, especially in bad weather." And when you have heart and you have trust, performance can be on a high or low level. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, because if you have those two first things, heart and trust, performance has the ability to change. We were not significantly high performers early on in our career. We are extremely high performers now, and we have high levels of trust. Robert frickin' Refkin, this guy, this one man had a vision, and he's got a single mom who raised him all by herself. The story that he's got is a movie in its own. So really, it's Top Gun, The Matrix, and the story of Robert Refkin is kind of how my favorite movies go, like one after another. We could be so honest with each other.
Yeah.
That man, I knew it when we were interviewing, and I showed up to that interview in my PJs because I didn't think it was going to go well when we're interviewed to be the founders of Compass in Nashville. I was there for an hour, and I canceled the meeting because I realized that I needed my best friend and business partner to come see this. I was like, don't worry, it's not going to be a big deal, and worry about it. The next day on our second interview, or I guess our 1.5, we're there, fell in love with the idea, fell in love with the concept, but I needed something else. So we went home and did a bunch of research, and this man was everything that a man should be. He's a great father. He's great to the people he loves, and he loves everybody regardless of what they think of him. And this guy had a vision, and he told all the haters to step aside. He was a disruptor in the industry. And he, at every retreat we go to, when he is there, makes it a point to shake and meet every single person at that party.
Mhm.
So forgive me for being so excited. And I know I'm not very passionate at all, but like that question means so much to me because just like with Nicole and Michael, like they probably got a lot of hate when they joined Compass in their area because it's a new disruptor and this, that, and the other. Following Robert Refkin into that burning building of this world we're in right now, this real estate industry, and making it better. That's why I did this, because the leadership of that man right there.
I'll add to it. At our old brokerage, we thought we were amazing.
Oh, yeah,
We
we-
thought like, oh my gosh, we don't even need to sell any more homes. We're so rich. Like, this is amazing. We were selling 18 million that year, that we joined Compass.
Okay.
And the year after, we doubled and made 40 something million. And then we went to like 60 million. And then, last year, or in 2022, we were the second team in Tennessee at 125 million. And, you know, the way that we got better is through collaborating with agents who are better than me. You can't learn how to play basketball. You can't learn how to play a sport with people that are your equals or people that are worse than you. So Compass is on such a high level where the collaboration, you know, nobody has an ego.
That's it.
So many of our best friends, we are in networking groups together. They've helped me pitch a $10 million listing when I've never sold a $10 million listing. They've helped,
Development.
you know, they've helped with new developments. We help each other, whether an agent sells 20 million or 100, or one of our friends sells 800 plus million. And getting in the same room with a producer that sells 800 plus million, that's what these new agents should do. I saw in the text chat, like, what do I start? Where do I go as a new agent? I'm like, you talk
Them.
to the best.
To those people.
You don't talk to someone that really wants to talk to you and wants to work with you. You talk to someone that, you know, has grown themselves to such a high level and can elevate what you're doing as well. So we got better because of the collaborations, because of the networking, because of the retreats, what we've learned through agents, through Compass staff. I mean, whenever we have a problem, there are dozens of people we can call to get the solution. And some of these agents, we've had agents come to us to do pitch meetings.
Yep.
I know Robert Refkin, to get us a giant listing, will fly to Nashville and interview with me.
He'll fly commercial. He doesn't fly private. He always flies commercial, right, Nicole? Like, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We
I don't know if I would
collaborate,
do
like,
the same thing if I
a
would.
lot of us are so close, and we're friendly and we know each other. I know I can call Nicole if I need to figure out how to do something on social media. She taught me how to do like my first selfie when we joined Compass.
She had been doing it wrong this
I was
whole time.
holding the camera the wrong
Doing
way.
it wrong.
Major
But-
milestone.
Anna
Yeah.
said the one thing that I want to say one more time is collaborating with no ego.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done.
And it's not just for us. What's
No.
been really helpful, our team last year did 50% of our business. So we used to be, 90%, the team would make 10%. Then we were 70%, the team would make 30. Last year it was 50-50, and that is amazing for everyone. And
Rising tide raises all
our
ships.
team has their own collaboration groups for other team members in Compass. So it's not just like me and Franklin are team leads and we're talking to the Wilhelms. It's, agents on our team have their own networks with other team members that they can collaborate and see what they can do better and how to grow. So it's,
Lana, not to cut you off on that, but I think it's such an important component that I believe both of your teams really utilize at Compass, as do thousands of other agents. But I'd love to get all of your perspective on the different affinity groups that exist within Compass and how that might resonate with this audience too. Married at Compass, right? There's many others.
Sports
Which
center.
ones do you partake in?
So you have like high level groups like sports and entertainment, which is an actual sanctioned club. There's dues and everything. I'm a part of that. That's been a wonderful organization to be a part of. But then you have all of these micro groups, which are, bald men of Compass. We started that group and it took off. And like people confuse me with Sky Michaels all the time. I have to say, no, I'm not that guy. I'm sorry, but he's in my group. So collaborating with no ego and being able, like gentlemen of Compass, women of Compass, skiers of Compass.
there are different retreats, there's different activities
For
for
those.
those.
For all of
There's
those,
like
equestrian of Compass,
there's a young at Compass,
Yep.
which a lot of our team members who are like,
youthful
under-
at Compass.
yeah.
I remember what that
you are
was.
young, they collaborate, they have their own meetings, they do everything. And like, just in the last sports and entertainment call that Franklin had, I looked at the old video and they presented this book,
Oh,
which
it's
I'm
right
gonna
there.
show you. So
Cool.
it's like this listing book.
We didn't
that-
know this existed.
We did not know this existed, and we just used this book to get a $6 million listing.
Open it,
And
open it.
so basically this is a rendering that I did,
Okay.
but it has, like, you open the book, it has our photo, and then
And a video.
it has a
Beautiful.
video that plays. Like, who can say no if this is the kind of content that we are bringing to a listing? So yes, we've elevated because
Of
we've
other
been
people.
taught how to elevate.
Yeah.
And then, we're teaching the next group how to elevate.
But
We're
the
teaching our
groups of
team members
Compass,
to do the
the
same
groups
thing.
of Compass are amazing.
Yeah.
That I think is one of the
We-
network and that and
we
many other
travel,
things.
we travel
Oh, yeah.
all the time. I mean, I have a group, which is called Bridge, and it's one or so agents from every like large metropolitan city. And we have 2 retreats a year. We've sent, so many referrals to each other. We've sent a lot of referrals to other networking groups, and we all just collaborate, learn from each other. And that's really how you get better, is play with better players.
Amazing. Wilhelms, do you want to tap in on this too?
No, I mean, I'm just reading Thomasina's comment. That book was amazing. I definitely need to take a page out of your book there. But yeah, I mean, so when we joined Compass, it wasn't maybe a year after. So Robert came to our area and we had a conversation with him, and we said, there are 3,800 agents here in the North Bay, San Francisco Bay Area, the North Bay. And out of that, less than 1% of them are agents of color. And so what we did was we started a group with Compass called Black at Compass. And now that group is, across the United States, and it's, we collaborate whenever we have retreats, we all get together. But there's so many groups that you can be a part of. If there isn't a group, start one. I encourage anybody who has an idea and knows other people that are around them like that. There's people looking for you. They just haven't been created yet. So create your own group within Compass, and you'll be able to attract referrals and just good people that way as well.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that and for being the origin of that awesome group that we have at Compass. Well, guys, I hate to shut down this conversation. It's been so fun, but we do have a timeline we have to honor. So You know, with that, guys, if there were any questions that were not answered in today's chat, please know we will be following up with you. A member of the growth team would be happy to connect with anyone that's interested in learning more about what opportunities at Compass could look like. But to Nicole, Michael, Lana, Franklin, and the engaged chat here, thank you guys so much for your time, your insights, your passion. It's been such a delight to spend this afternoon together. And for the audience here, keep your eyes open or eyes out for an email coming from us with the webinar recording. For more tips, valuable content, don't forget to check out our website. You can also access all previous webinar recordings and this one too. Read about the Compass Advantage, connect with a sales partner and more. That's at www.compass.com/agents-compass. So thank you all so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right,
Everyone.
I leave one last thing, and anybody who's
Please.
interested, anybody who's still on the call and interested, I've been on a lot of these seminars and the webinars and these groups, and what happens is, you get this good information, you get inspired, and then, life happens and you just kind of go about your day. So what Nicole and I were putting together in a couple weeks, if you want, our Instagram is @thewilhelms, and DM us. We're putting together a 5-day challenge for agents. It's going to be about mindset. We're going to be, obviously our industry is shifting with all that's happening in the news. We're going to be discussing, that as well, and just having to elevate your value. But DM us and just say challenge, and we'll send you the link for that challenge. It's going to be a
Challenge.
5-day challenge. Who doesn't love a challenge?
I'm in.
Awesome.
Go.
Send us a message as well. We'll send you the information, but it's going to be an amazing event. You guys aren't going to want to miss it.
Awesome. I'm in.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
There you go. DM challenge accepted. We'll send
And then we'll send you back a Top Gun quote.
You be my wingman any day.
Bye, guys.
Incredible. Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
That was fun.